Heavy hitters are here, Gino, and what a disgraceful performance by Cosmo Macero, a guy who just met Fred Lynn and went, hi, Fred. Hi.
I was awestruck and starstruck. I also didn't immediately recognize him. Now I'm here, just tickled pink.
You better make up for it.
Tickled pink. The best thing since Mark Fidrich, may he rest in peace.
Peter Cadges of the Boston Phoenix, a man who diplomatically said, hey, nice to meet you. How you doing? And that was all you needed to do.
Good, firm handshake.
Well done. You got the control of the board, my friend, so let's start with this. Debt ceiling last night, obviously the House passes this thing in a blowout. Washington Times says today Obama hit a grand slam with this thing. New York Post says Obama probably cost himself re-election with this thing. Which one's right?
I can only pick one?
Yes.
The Washington Times. Listen, this bill is incredibly cleverly put together. It makes nobody happy. But if you step back and say, what is the debt ceiling supposed to do? It's supposed to ensure that we have the money on hand to pay our bills. The Treasury can now pay the bills up to 2013.
Which was Obama's big thing.
There's really going to be no kerfluffles going forward. There'll be a little one before his re-election, which I think was really Obama's big thing. So I would say on the whole, Obama got what he wanted. But this was such a bruising fight that it doesn't look like he did. I mean, Obama looks strong to the sort of moderate, independent Americans, or he looks competent. Competence is the word. But he looks weak to the left wing. The trouble is, the left wing, the only alternatives are the wackos on the teapot.
A Democratic leader yesterday said we look like a bunch of idiots, referring to the Democratic Party, Cosmo. The president was nowhere to be found yesterday when all this stuff was going on, so how does he really win here?
I don't think he's a winner at all. I think everyone is a loser. Maybe the president chief among all. Look, no one is really happy with this bill. No one's happy at all. Democrats, like Peter said, liberals, and some moderates, not happy with the outcome. The Democrats were talking tough yesterday. If we don't get 200 Republicans, we're not going to give them cover. That's baloney. They get 174. Okay, so the president gets the extension beyond the election. That's fine. Hey, guess who loses most of all? The American people. I know it's only August. Merry Christmas. Interest rates are going up for everyone. So you know what? Capitol Hill, bleep you all. This stinks.
Doesn't this remind you of the old Popeye cartoon, Wimpy? I'll gladly pay a Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Well, that is the basis of the debt crisis here in the United States.
That's the basis of Obamanomics, I think.
No, it's the basis of economics everywhere these days, especially in Europe. I had a very interesting experience through a friend of mine. I was allowed to sit in and listen to a very high-level Wall Street investor thing. And Wall Street's pretty happy with this.
They didn't look like it yesterday. It looked like they were lukewarm.
They had to avert the default. They did that. Fine. The damage was done to the economy weeks ago, and we're going to see that.
You said they were all losers last night, except for one, Cosmo. Gabrielle Giffords makes an appearance out of nowhere, looked great. What was your feelings?
You know what? I think it was a great moment. I think it was a moment that brought people together, and I think that's good. And if that's something they needed to sort of make this vote come together, we'll find. But I thought it was a good moment and well executed.
On the other hand, Peter, if I told you that Gabby Giffords was going to show up in Congress some point during the summer, wouldn't you have guaranteed me that every newspaper the next day would have her on the front page? None do today.
No, because she's now an old story. I mean, she's more of a TV story. I mean, as I was channel surfing this morning, every screen, every channel had it. Listen, this is about local politics. She's a Democrat in a Republican district. She flies from her sickbed to vote against her Liberal Party interests with the Republicans. It's the kickoff of her re-election campaign. I don't say that cynically. It's a very shrewd and, I must say, courageous political move for her. She looked great, but she still needs to be steady.
Let's talk about a different member of the House. A guy who has one of my favorite names. If I was going to be a House member, I'd like to be known as Rep. Cleaver. Rep. Cleaver from Missouri says yesterday that this bill is a sugar-coated Satan sandwich, Cosmo. Number one, is that the best phrase you ever heard? Number two, what would be in a Satan sandwich?
It's pretty close. That's a good line, and a lot of people have been repeating it.
Of course, he said he would vote for it. I don't know how you vote for something that you call a Satan sandwich.
I'd love to eat a Satan sandwich.
If I was gonna make a Satan sandwich, I would probably summon the three most evil and disgusting ingredients I can, which is deviled ham, mustard, and sauerkraut all together. There's your Satan sandwich.
Actually, that sounds good to me. I was thinking of pork belly on rye with hot mustard, which is also pretty tasty. Then again, I've never met a sandwich I didn't like. Listen, that's just a piece of hyperbole. I'm not that wildly happy about this bill either. But this was a debt extension bill. This wasn't a reform the economy bill.
Down the road bill.
That's what happened.
As much as I like the Satan sandwich line,
it is a good line.
Thank you. I didn't say it, but thank you. How about Joe Biden yesterday? Apparently behind closed doors with a liberal wing of his party saying the Tea Partiers have been acting like terrorists. Then he said he didn't say that, but then the vice president's office put out a thing saying that's not the kind of discourse we need. Again, Joe Biden can't help himself.
No, I think he had a Biden moment. You know, you start throwing around Al-Qaeda and terrorists, you start walking into that territory that you just got to be careful of. Kind of like when people throw around Nazi, you just got to be careful how you're using that stuff.
Well, kind of like on the night that Gabrielle Giffords makes an appearance, and we were told as a result of that, President Obama said, we've got to raise the discourse and watch what we say. Well, there's Joe Biden calling people terrorists that aren't with him.
He should, if he used it, he should not have used the T word. He should have said something. They're more like homicidal maniacs or something. Tea Party's very bad news. Very bad news.
Just in any situation, comparing a policy-oriented thing
to terror,
to an act of terrorism, which in this
by
country
the vice president,
we suffered the worst act of terrorism in history. You know,
no Hitler references, no
sense.
Stalin references, no Mao references, no terror references.
What we've learned here is Satan references yay,
Satan's
terror
okay.
references nay.
Satan works.
Correct.
Peter Cadges of the Phoenix, Cosmo Macero of the Neon Associates. The other heavy hitters, go make up with Fred Lynn, will you?
I'm gonna serve him a sandwich.
Not a heavenly sandwich.
A heavenly sandwich.